So welcome dear students. Today we are going to do the next part, that is details about the provident funds and their implication, that how the taxable in the head salary. So for provident fund, firstly let me tell you that in a provident fund scheme, employer deducts a certain sum from salary of the employee, and then plus he also contributes to this fund, and these contributions are together, that is the employee and the employer. So employee contribution plus the employer contribution, both is deposited to the government treasury with the government, that particular fund for which that is going to be, the amount is going to be invested, and generally the amount is invested in the securities and the interest is there earned thereon, but the government does that thing, government wo karti hai. And what happens is, this amount, the whole amount, is received by the employee at the time of retirement. Now remember, it means retirement. At the time of retirement, that whole fund, if I say this is the fund, then this fund will comprise of what? Employer contribution plus interest on it, then employees contribution plus interest on it. So all this amount is going to be received by the employee at the time of his retirement. Yes, उससे पहले भी withdraw कर सकते हैं, but implications कुछ और होंगी. तो today we are going to study that which are the provident funds in which the investment could be made. कौन कौन से provident fund हैं? तो we are going to do, first is the statutory provident fund. We are going to do the details about the statutory provident fund. So the statutory provident fund, it is for maintained by, first of all, it is covered by Indian Provident Fund Act 1925, and it is maintained by government, semi-government office, the local authorities, then universities, then statutory corporations, then nationalized banks also. तो ये सब जो employers हैं, they are maintaining which fund? They are maintaining statutory provident fund. यानी कि गवर्नमेंट को अप्लाई, गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉयज़ को, जिसमें कि गवर्नमेंट, सेमी गवर्नमेंट, लोकल अथॉरिटी, यूनिवर्सिटी, नेशनलाइज बैंक, इन सब के एम्प्लॉयज़ का जो प्रोविडेंट फंड का पैसा है वो कहाँ जाके इन्वेस्ट हो रहा है? दैट इज़ इन स्टैट्यूटरी प्रोविडेंट फंड. नाउ सिमिलरली देयर इज़ वन मोर फंड, दैट इज़ रिकॉग्नाइज्ड प्रोविडेंट फंड. Recognized provident fund. The word recognized tells what? That it is the fund to which, first of all, Provident Fund Act 1952 applies, and it is recognized by the Commissioner or Chief Commissioner of Income Tax, and this fund is maintained by, कौन से एम्प्लॉयर ये वाला फंड में पैसे डालते हैं? दे आर शेड्यूल्ड बैंक्स, certain factories, business houses, यानी कि जिसने अपने फंड को रिकॉग्नाइज कराना है वो कमिश्नर और चीफ कमिश्नर ऑफ इनकम टैक्स को अप्लाई कर सकता है, एंड देन द फंड कुड बी recognized. And generally, if overall we want to say, then the private sector organizations, they are maintaining the recognized provident fund. जो फंड रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं होगा तो वो कौन सा हो जाएगा, वो हो जाएगा अनरिकॉग्नाइज्ड प्रोविडेंट फंड, दैट इज अनरिकॉग्नाइज्ड, जिसको रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करवाया गया। तो अनरिकॉग्नाइज्ड प्रोविडेंट फंड भी प्राइवेट सेक्टर ही मेंटेन करता है, जो रिकॉग्नाइज नहीं करवाएगा प्रोविडेंट फंड को वो अनरिकॉग्नाइज रह जाएगा। देन इज द नेक्स्ट वन इज पीपीएफ, पब्लिक प्रोविडेंट फंड, वो जो आप मोस्ट प्रोबेबली यू माइट हैव हर्ड पीपल ओपनिंग पीपीएफ अकाउंट इन post office or in even in certain banks, Punjab National, State Bank, they can open now in that also. Now ये तो हो गया कुछ हमारे provident funds की बातें. Now the thing is, what is the tax implication of provident funds? Now the main question. So what is the tax implication? So tax implication of provident funds. So I will write down the name of provident fund on this side, then we can write down, क्योंकि मैंने पहले बताया था that provident fund is going to have employees contribution, employer contribution, and the total corpus of the fund will comprise of employer contribution and the interest and the employee contribution and interest, and the refund is received by the employee at the time of retirement. So similarly we are going to create columns over here. So the name of the fund, and to make things in brief I can write down over here employer contribution to provident fund, then employees contribution to provident fund, then interest on accumulated balance, then the refund. So let us start with this. First of all was which provident fund? It was statutory provident fund. Statutory provident fund, let us write hint government sector, the one which was applied to government sector, semi-government bodies. So employer contribution to this particular fund is exempted, यानी कि एम्प्लॉयर जितना भी कंट्रीब्यूट करता है उस पर कोई टैक्स नहीं लगना, दैट इज एग्जेम्प्टेड. Employees contribution to provident fund will go for, qualify for deduction under section 80C. Now 80C की deduction मिलेगी. Now this 80C deduction is available up to rupees 1,50,000. So this is, यहाँ पर हम लिख लेते हैं up to rupees 1,50,000. इंटरेस्ट मीन्स ये भी पैसा इन्वेस्ट किया, ये भी इन्वेस्ट किया इकट्ठा, तो इंटरेस्ट ऑन एक्यूमुलेटेड बैलेंस, उस पर क्या टैक्स लगेगा? नो, इट इज़ ऑल्सो नो. सो नो की बजाय हम लिखेंगे एग्जेम्प्टेड, कोई टैक्स नहीं लगेगा, कोई भी टैक्स नहीं लगना, तो नो टैक्स, दैट इज इट इज़ ऑल्सो एग्जेम्प्टेड. नाउ कम्स रिफंड, रिटायर हो गए, रिटायरमेंट के टाइम पे पैसे वापस आने हैं, इज इट टैक्सेबल? अगेन नो, it is also exempted, and it is exempted under section 10(11), under section 10 subsection 11. तो सबसे आसान है, गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉय सारा exempted, एम्प्लॉयर contribution भी, इंटरेस्ट भी, रिफंड भी, और अपना contribution it will qualify for deduction under section 80C. Then is the next provident fund, that is the recognized provident fund. Recognized provident fund, the one which was maintained by the private sector, scheduled banks, and anybody could get it recognized from the commissioner or chief commissioner of income tax. So over here employer contribution is exempted, but not fully. It is only exempted up to 12% of salary. Now salary over here will include what? Salary will include basic pay plus tierness pay plus commission based on fixed percentage of turnover achieved by the employee. So it is exempted only up to this. Now comes employee contribution. It will qualify for deduction under section 80C. So recognized provident fund employees contribution 80C, it will qualify. Interest, yes, it is exempted, but again not fully exempted. It is only exempted up to 9.5%, and the excess is taxable. So 9.5% of the accumulated balance, that is exempted, and the rest is taxable. And what about the refund? That is when it is received at the time of retirement, it is exempted. So it is exempted under section 11, 10, 12. So section is this. This particular thing is to be remembered. Exempted up to 12% of salary, the employer contribution, and the interest is exempted up to 9.5% of the accumulated balance. How to do in the numerical we'll do later, but just remember the theory part. Then is unrecognized provident fund. Now the employer contribution to unrecognized provident fund is ignored on yearly basis. Means we don't consider it on yearly basis. We'll consider it later on. Employee contribution will not qualify for any deduction. So no deduction. Then interest, it is also ignored on yearly basis. We are not going to consider. So when it is going to be considered, it is to be considered when the refund is received. Now remember I told you, let's say this is a fund, and this fund is made up of 4 things: employer contribution, employee contribution, interest on this part, and interest on this part. So remember this portion. This portion is now, that is employer contribution plus interest thereon, is going to be taxable under the head salaries at the time of retirement of the employee. जब वो पैसा मिलेगा उसको unrecognized provident fund का. Employee के contribution को कुछ नहीं करना. Interest which is received on employees contribution, that is this part, interest, this is taxable under the head other sources. So I hope the things are clear to you. You can have a look at the whole chart once for yourself, and you can draw it same, and then you can further take up. Now come to the PPF part, the last one. When I say public provident fund, let me write in the columnary method. So public provident fund, in this is an account, provident fund, which is in which there is no employer contribution at all, because ये हमारा fund है. We can start this account in any post office, in any public sector bank also, Punjab National Bank, State Bank of India. You can start your PPF account over here, और मंथली आपको मिनिमम 500, ये एक ईयर में आपको मिनिमम 500 से लेके मैक्सिमम 150 तक आप डाल सकते हो. तो एम्प्लॉई की कंट्रीब्यूशन कितनी हो सकती है इसमें? एम्प्लॉई इसके लिए कंट्रीब्यूट कर सकता है, ये भी. तो एम्प्लॉई कंट्रीब्यूशन, एम्प्लॉयर तो कंट्रीब्यूट करेगा ही नहीं, उसको कोई इससे लेना देना नहीं. एम्प्लॉई विल कंट्रीब्यूट मिनिमम 500 करना है, और मैक्सिमम 1,50,000 कर सकते हैं एक अकाउंट में. नाउ एक ही अकाउंट पीपीएफ का एक पर्सन ओपन कर सकता है, and even this can be opened in the name of the minor child by the person जिसका वो guardian है. He can operate on behalf of that minor child, and this is that जो PPF का अकाउंट है उसमें आपका ये अकाउंट it goes फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल द एक्ट इज़ 1 जुलाई 1968 का इसको एक्ट अप्लाई करता है। और एक चीज़ इसकी याद रखनी है कि इसमें हमारा जो पैसा है वो बहुत ज़्यादा टेन्योर के लिए इन्वेस्ट हो जाता है। सो 15 ईयर्स के लिए इसमें इन्वेस्टमेंट पीरियड है पीपीएफ का। 15 ईयर्स तक के लिए पैसे डालने हैं इसमें। लेकिन अच्छी बात यह है कि एट द एंड ऑफ 6th फाइनेंशियल ईयर, 6th ईयर के बाद आप पैसे विड्रॉ कर सकते हैं कुछ हद तक। सो अमाउंट विड्रॉल इज़ परमिसिबल एंड वन विड्रॉल इज़ परमिसिबल ओनली फ्रॉम द अकाउंट आफ्टर 6th फाइनेंशियल ईयर। लेकिन पैसा 15 साल के लिए लॉक हो जाता है और 5 ईयर्स की आप बाद में एक्सटेंशन ले सकते हैं इसमें। इंटरेस्ट रेट बहुत हाई होता है इस पे कंपैरेटिवली द सेविंग एंड द फिक्स्ड अमाउंट। तो पीपल प्रेफर investing in public provident fund. You can ask even your parents, they might have also invested. तो यहाँ पर हम एम्प्लॉय की कंट्रीब्यूशन की बात कर रहे थे, तो इट विल बी क्वालिफाइंग फॉर डिडक्शन under section 80C. It will qualify for deduction under section 80C. Interest की बात करें तो interest is going to be exempted and whatever is the refund at the time of, अब यहाँ पर मैं रिटायरमेंट वर्ड नहीं बोल रही हूँ, यहाँ पर मैं बोल रही हूँ आफ्टर 15 ईयर्स, क्योंकि 15 ईयर्स का टाइम पीरियड है। तो जब 15 ईयर्स के बाद आप अगर पैसा लेना चाहते हैं इस अकाउंट में से, तो जो रिफंड आएगा दैट इज़ ऑल्सो अगेन एग्जेम्प्टेड। सो वेरी गुड वन, एनीबडी कैन स्टार्ट ओपनिंग दिस प्रोविडेंट फंड अकाउंट, दैट इज़ द पब्लिक प्रोविडेंट फंड अकाउंट। तो ये अकाउंट कौन ओपन कर सकता है? ये कोई भी सैलरीड एम्प्लॉय भी ओपन कर सकता है, इवन कोई भी एम्प्लॉयर भी अपने लिए, मतलब एनी इंडिविजुअल can open this account. Any salaried employee can open this account. So I hope provident funds की clarity थोड़ी हो गई, that what are the provident funds. Please go through the theory. The numerical aspect will be covered in the next video tutorial. So thank you for the time being. Take care.